to welcome you to the Mercy High School auditorium. For the consideration of your fellow audience members and those on stage, we ask that you turn off any electronic devices at this time. Kindly refrain from texting, and keep in mind that flash photography of any kind endangers the safety of those on stage. Please, take a moment to locate the nearest exit. Thank you, and enjoy the program.
Holy crap! What have you done? No! What the hell?
It was 7 minutes after midnight. The dog was lying on the grass in the middle of the field in front of Mrs. Shear's house. Its eyes were closed. It looked as if it were running on its side, the way dogs run when they think they are chasing a cat in a dream. But the dog wasn't running or asleep. The dog was dead.
Get away from my dog.
There's a garden fork sticking out of the dog. The dog is called Wellington. It belonged to Mrs. Shears, who was our friend. She lived on the opposite side of the road, 2 houses to the left.
Get away from my dog.
My name is Christopher John Francis Boone. I live at 36 Randolph Street, Swindon, Wiltshire. I know all the countries of the world and capital cities, and every prime number up to 7,507.
Get away from my dog, I said!
After 12.5 minutes, a couple of policemen arrived. They had big orange leaves stuck to the bottom of their shoes, which were poking out from one side. This is good, Christopher. It's quite exciting. I like the details. They make it more realistic. One of them squatted down next to me. He said,
Can you tell us what's going on here, young man?
I do not tell lies. Mother used to say that this was because I was a good person, but it's not because I'm a good person. It's because I can't tell lies.
The dog is dead.
Yeah, I think I got that far.
I think someone killed the dog.
How old are you?
I'm 15 years and 3 months and 2 days.
And what precisely were you doing in the garden?
I'm talking to you.
Okay, what were you doing in the garden in the first place?
I was holding the dog.
Why were you holding the dog?
I like dogs.
Did you kill the dog?
No, I did not kill the dog.
You seem really upset about this. I'm gonna ask you once again. Young man, I'm asking you to stop making that noise. Stand up calmly and quietly. Marvelous. I'm arresting you for assaulting a police officer. I strongly advise you get in the back of that car, because if you try any of that again, I'm gonna lose it. Is that understood?
I find people confusing. This is for 2 main reasons. The first main reason is that people do a lot of talking without using any words. Siobhan says that if you raise one eyebrow, it can mean lots of different things. It can mean, I want to do sex with you. I never said that, Christopher.
Yes, you did.
I didn't use those words, Christopher.
You did on September 12th last year, at first break.
And it can also mean, I think what you just said was very stupid.
Christopher, could you empty your bag onto the desk, please?
Is that piece have something in it which I could use to kill myself, or escape with, or hurt another policeman with?
That's right.
Well, I've got a Swiss Army knife, but I only use that for doing odd jobs, not for stabbing things or hurting people.
Jolly good.
A piece of string.
A piece of a wooden puzzle.
3 pellets of rat food for Toby, my pet rat.
£1 47 pence. This was made up of a £1 coin, a 20p coin, 2 10p coins, a 5p coin, and a 2p coin.
A red paper clip.
A key for the front door.
A Swiss Army knife with 13 attachments, including a wire stripper and a saw, and a toothpick and tweezers.
Could you take your watch off, please?
No,
Sorry, Christopher?
I need my watch to know exactly what time it is.
Give it here, lad.
No!
All right. You keep it. Do you have any family, Christopher?
Yes, I do.
And who is your family?
Father and mother, but mother is dead. And my Uncle Terry, who lives in Sunderland. He is father's brother. And my grandparents, 3 of which are dead, and Grandma Byrne, but she lives in a home now because she has senile dementia and thinks I'm just someone on television.
Right. Lovely. Do you have your father's phone number, Christopher?
I could see the Milky Way as they drove me towards the town center.
Could you?
Some people think that the Milky Way is just a line of stars, but it isn't. Our galaxy is a huge disk of stars, billions of light years across. In fact, for a long time, scientists were puzzled by the fact that the night sky is dark, even though there are billions and billions of stars in our universe.
Is that right?
Christopher, Mr. Boone, could you come this way, please?
Are you going to interview me and then record the interview?
No, there will be no need for it. I've spoken to your father, and he says that you didn't mean to hit the policeman. Did you mean to hit the policeman?
Yes.
But you didn't mean to hurt the policeman.
No. I didn't mean to hurt the policeman. I just wanted him to stop touching me.
You know that it's wrong to hit a policeman, don't you?
I do.
Did you kill the dog, Christopher?
No, I did not kill the dog.
Do you know that it's wrong to lie to a policeman? And that you could get into a great deal of trouble if you do?
Yes.
Do you know who killed the dog?
No.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes, I always tell the truth.
Right. I'm going to give you a caution.
Is that going to be on a piece of paper? Like a certificate I could keep?
No. A caution means that we're going to take a record of what you did. That you hit a policeman, but that it was an accident, and you didn't mean to hurt the policeman.
But it wasn't an accident.
Christopher, please.
Now, if you go causing any more trouble like this, we will look into your record and see that you've been given a caution that you hit a policeman. And we will take things much more seriously. Is that understood?
Yes.
The second main reason I found people confusing is that people often talk using metaphors. These are some examples of metaphors.
I'm gonna lose my crap. He was the apple of her eye. They had a skeleton in the cupboard.
We had a real pick of a day.
The dog was stone dead.
The word metaphor means carrying something from one place to another, and it is when you describe something by using a word for something that it isn't. This means that the word metaphor is a metaphor. Wow, that's clever.
It's true.
Yes. I think it should be called a lie, because a pig is not like a day, and people don't have skeletons in their cupboards. And when I try to make a picture of the phrase in my head, it just confuses me, because imagining an apple in someone's eye doesn't have anything to do with liking someone a lot, and it makes you forget what the person was talking about.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Christopher, gotta try to stay out of trouble.
I didn't kill Wellington.
I know you didn't. Christopher, gotta keep your nose out of other people's business.
Well, I didn't know I was going to get into trouble because I like Wellington and I went to say hello to him, but I didn't figure that someone had killed him.
Were you listening to what I was saying, Christopher?
Yes, I was listening to what you were saying, but when somebody's murdered, you have to find out who did it so that they can be punished.
It's a bloody dog, Christopher. A bloody dog.
I think that dogs are important too. In fact, I think that some dogs are cleverer than some people. Take Nicholas, for example, who comes to school on Thursdays and needs help eating his lunch. He probably couldn't even fetch a stick.
Leave it.
I wonder if the police will find out who killed Wellington and arrest him.
Leave it, for God's sakes.
Do you feel sad about Wellington?
You can say that. You very well say that.
Mother died 2 years ago. I came home from school one day and no one answered the door. So I went and found the cedar key to keep under a flower pot outside the kitchen window. I let myself into the house and wet my feet on the mat. I put the key in the bowl on the table. I took my coat off and hung it by the side of the fridge so it would be ready for school the next day, and gave 3 pelts of raffles to Toby, who was my pet rat. I made myself a raspberry milkshake and heated it up in the microwave. Then I went up to my bedroom and turned on my bedroom light and played 6 games of Tetris and got to level 38, which is my 4th best ever score. An hour later, Father came home from work.
Christopher, have you seen your mom?
No.
He went downstairs and started making some phone calls. I didn't hear what he said. Then he came up to my room and said he had to go out for a while and he wasn't sure how long he would be. He said that if I needed anything, I should call him on his mobile phone. He was away for 2.5 hours. When he came back, I went downstairs.
Christopher, I'm afraid that you won't be seeing Mother for a while.
Why not?
She's trying to go to the hospital. She has a problem with her heart.
Can we visit her?
No.
Is it a psychiatric hospital?
No. It's an ordinary hospital.
Well, I can make her a get well card. If I make her a get well card, would you be able to bring it into her tomorrow?
How are you today, Christopher?
I'm very well today, thank you.
That's good.
On the bus, when we were going to school today, I passed by 4 red cars in a row.
4.
So today is a good day.
Great, I'm glad.
I'm going to find out who killed Wellington and make it a project, because a good day is for projects and planning things.
Who's Wellington?
Wellington is a dog that used to belong to our neighbor, Miss Shears, who is our friend, but he is dead now because somebody killed him with a garden fork. And I found him, and then the policeman came and thought I killed him, but I hadn't. And so then he punched me, and then I hit him, and then I had to go to the police station.
Gosh.
So I'm going to find out who killed Wellington and make it a project. Even though Father told me not to.
Did he?
He did. I don't always do what I'm told,
Why is that?
because when people tell you what to do, it is usually confusing and does not make much sense. For example, when somebody tells you to be quiet, they never specify how long you need to be quiet for.
No. Why did your father tell you not to try and find out who killed Wellington?
I don't know.
Well, if your father told you not to do something, then maybe you shouldn't do it.
Hmm.
Today we're meant to be writing stories, so why don't you write about what happened to Wellington?
Okay, I will.
Christopher, I'm sorry, but your mother has died. She had a heart attack. It was unexpected.
What kind of heart attack?
Now is not the time to ask questions like that, Christopher.
It was probably an aneurysm.
Look, I'm sorry. I'm real sorry, all right? I'm sorry.
That evening, I went round to Mrs. Shear's house and knocked on the door and waited for an answer.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to come by and tell you that I didn't kill Wellington, and I'm going to find out who did.
Christopher, I really don't think I want to see you here right now.
Do you know who killed Wellington?
If you don't go now, I will call the police again.
Reverend Peters. Where's heaven?
I'm sorry, Christopher?
Inner universe. Whereabouts is it exactly?
It's not in our universe. It's another place altogether.
But, Reverend Peters, there isn't any place outside the universe. There isn't another kind of place altogether. Well, there might be if you go through the other side of a black hole, but a black hole is what's called a singularity, which means that the gravitational force is so dense that even electromagnetic waves like light can't get through it, and light is how we find out things which are far away. So if heaven is on the other side of a black hole, that means humans would have to launch rockets into space to get there, and we aren't supposed to be able to notice.
Well, when I say it's outside our universe, it's really just a manner of speaking. I suppose what I really mean is that they're with God.
But where's God?
Christopher, we should talk about this on another day, when I have more time.
The next day was Saturday, and there's not much to do on a Saturday unless Father takes me out somewhere on an outing to the boating lake or to the garden center. But on this particular Saturday, England was playing Romania at football, which meant that we weren't going to go on an outing because Father wanted to watch the match on the television. So I made a decision. I decided to do some more detection. I decided to go out on my own. I don't like strangers, so talking to the other people in our neighborhood was brave. But if you're going to do detective work, you have to be brave. So I had no choice.
Can I help you?
Do you know who killed Wellington?
Who are you?
I'm Christopher Boone. I live on number 36. And I know you. You're Mr. Thompson.
No, I'm
I'm Mr. Thompson's brother.
Do you know who killed Wellington?
Who the hell is Wellington?
Mrs. Shears' dog. She lives on number 39
Someone killed her dog?
with a fork.
Oh my gosh.
A garden fork.
Ew.
Do you know who killed him?
I have a bloody clue.
Did you see anything suspicious on Thursday evening?
Look, do you really think you should be going around asking questions like this?
Yes, I do. Because I'm doing an investigation to find out who killed Wellington, and I'm writing a book about it.
Okay, well, I was in Colchester on Thursday, so you're asking the wrong guy.
Thank you for helping with my investigation.
Oh, yeah.
It's Christopher, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Do you know who killed Wellington?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Well, did you see anything suspicious on Thursday evening, which might be a clue?
Like what?
Like strangers or the sound of people arguing?
Maybe you should be talking to your father about this, Christopher.
I can't talk to my father about this because he said I shouldn't be snooping in other people's business.
Well, maybe he has a point, Christopher.
So, you don't know anything which might be a clue?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Be careful, you.
I will be. Thank you for helping with my investigation. Do you know who killed Wellington?
Well, hell, policemen really are getting younger, aren't they?
2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23. Do you know who killed Wellington?
Oh, I heard about it yesterday. Dreadful, dreadful.
Do you know who killed him?
Oh, now.
Well, somebody must know who killed him, because the person who killed him knows that they did it. Unless they were a lunatic, or unless they had amnesia.
You're Christopher, aren't you?
Yes.
We haven't talked before, have we?
No, I don't do talking with strangers, but I'm doing detective work.
I see you every day on your way to school on your school bus. It's very nice of you to come over and sing along, even if it's just for detective work.
Thank you.
I have a grandson around your age.
My age is 15 years and 3 months and 3 days.
Well, almost your age. You don't have a dog, do you?
No,
Wouldn't you like a dog?
I have a rat.
A rat?
He's called Toby.
Oh.
Most people think that rats are dirty creatures that carry dangerous diseases like the bubonic plague, but that's only because they lived in sewers and stowed away on ships from faraway lands that carried foreign diseases. But rats are very clean.
Would you like to come in for some tea?
I don't go into strangers' homes.
No, I suppose you don't. Would you like me to bring out some tea here? Would you like lemonade?
I only like orangeade.
Luckily I have some of that as well. What about Battenberg?
I don't know because I don't know what Battenberg is.
Battenberg is a type of cake that has marzipan icing around the edges.
Is it a long cake with a square cross section that can be cut into alternatively colored, equally sized squares?
Yes, I suppose you could describe it like that.
Then I think I would like the pink squares, but not the yellow squares because I don't like yellow. And I don't know whether I'd like marzipan because I don't know what that is either.
I'm afraid marzipan is yellow too. Perhaps I should bring out some cookies. Do you like cookies?
Yes, some sorts of cookies.
I'll get a selection.
She moved very slowly because she was an old lady, and she was inside the house for more than 6 minutes, and I began to get nervous because I didn't know her well enough to know whether she was telling the truth about getting orangeade and Battenberg cake. And I thought she might be ringing the police, and then I'd get into much more serious trouble because of the caution, so I walked away.
Why would you kill a dog?
I would.
I think you would only kill a dog if A, you hated the dog, B, you were a lunatic, or C, you wanted to make Mrs. Shears feel very sad. I don't know anyone who would want to kill Wellington, so if it was A, it was probably a stranger. And I don't know any lunatics either, so if it was B, it was also probably a stranger.
Right?
But most murders are committed by someone who is close to the victim. In fact, you are most likely to be murdered by a member of your own family on Christmas Day.
Is that a fact?
Yes, it is. And I only knew one person who would want to make Mrs. Shears sad, and that is Mr. Shears, who divorced Mrs. Shears and left to live someplace else, and knew Wellington very well indeed. That makes Mr. Shears my prime suspect.
Christopher.
I'm going to find out more about this Mr. Shears.
Mr. Boone, nobody has taken an A-level examination in this school before.
Then he could be the first then.
I don't even know if we have the facilities in the school to allow him to do that.
Then get the facilities.
I can't treat Christopher differently than any other student.
Why not?
Because then everybody else would want to be treated differently.
So?
It would set a precedent. Christopher can always take his A-levels later, when he's 18, which is, after all, the age everybody else takes their A-levels.
Christopher's getting a crap enough deal already, don't you think? Without you shitting on him for a great height as well. This is the one thing he's really good at.
We should talk about this later, maybe on our own.
Are there things you're afraid to say in front of Christopher?
No, it's not that.
Say them now, then.
Christopher takes his A-levels now, he would have to have a member of staff, a supervisor, looking after him on his own in a separate room.
Yeah, that's fine. You could do it after school. 50 quid, is that enough?
Mr. Boone!
I'm not going to take no for an answer. Where have you been?
I have been out.
I had a phone call with Shears. How are you doing poking on our garden?
I was doing detective work, trying to find out who killed Wellington.
Christopher, how many times do I gotta tell you?
I think that Mr. Shears might have been the one to kill Wellington.
Do not mention that man's name in my house.
Why not?
The man is pure evil.
Does that mean he might have killed Wellington?
Okay, look, Christopher. This is the final time I'm gonna say this. You're going to stop asking Mr. Shears who killed that bloody dog. You're going to stop asking anyone who killed that bloody dog. You're going to stop doing this dumb detective game right now, Christopher. Look at me! I'm going to make you promise me, Christopher, and you know what it means when I make you promise.
I think I would make a very good astronaut.
Yes, mate. You probably would.
To be a good astronaut, you have to be intelligent, and I'm intelligent. You also have to understand how machines work, and I'm good at understanding how machines work.
You would also have to be someone who would be comfortable living on a tiny spacecraft thousands and thousands of miles away from the surface of the Earth and not get claustrophobia or homesick or insane. And I really like tiny spaces, so long as there's no one in them with me.
Yeah, I noticed.
Sometimes, when I want to be on my own, I get into the laundry room and slide in beside the boiler and pull the door closed behind me and sit there and think for hours, and it makes me feel very calm.
So I would have to be an astronaut on my own or have my own part of the spacecraft which no one could come into. And there would be no yellow things or brown things either, so that would be okay too. And I would have to talk to mission control, but we do that through a radio link up and a television, so it wouldn't be like real people who are strangers talking to each other, but more like playing a computer game.
What you like?
And I wouldn't get homesick or insane because I'd be surrounded by lots of things I like, such as computers and outer space and machinery, and I'd be able to look out the window of my tiny spacecraft and know that there was no one near me for thousands and thousands
Christopher!
What?
Give it a break, mate. Please.
And know that there was no one else near me for thousands and thousands of miles, which is what I sometimes pretend at night in the summer, when I go and lie in the lawn and look up at the sky and put my hands around the sides of my face so that I can't see the fence and the chimney and the clothesline, and I can pretend I'm in space. And all I can see would be stars, and stars are the places where the molecules that life was made of were constructed billions of years ago. For example, all the iron in your blood, which stops you from being anemic, was made in a star. Now, I'd like it if I could take Toby with me into space, and then I might be allowed, because they sometimes do take animals into space for experiments. So if I could think of a good experiment you could do with a rat that didn't hurt the rat, I could make them let me take Toby. But if they didn't let me, I would still go, because it would be a dream come true.
Father said,
I see. That's a pity.
so the book is finished.
Well, Christopher, if your father said you should stop, then I think he probably has a very good reason, and I think you should stop. But you can still be extremely proud of what you've written so far. Because, well, it's amazing.
It's not a proper book.
Why not?
It doesn't have a proper ending. I never found out who killed Wellington. So the murderer is still at large.
Not all murders are solved. Not all murderers are caught.
Father said that I was never to mention Mr. Shear's name in our house again, and that he was an evil man, so maybe that meant that he was the one who killed Wellington.
I think you should do what your father tells you to do, Christopher.
What happened to you the other day? I come out and you're gone. I had to eat all the biscuits myself. I missed our little chat.
I don't like chatting. I don't do it.
Nah, I suppose you don't. You like computers, don't you?
Yes, I like computers. I have a computer in my room.
I know. I can see you sitting on your computer across the street sometimes.
I also like maths and taking care of Toby and I also like outer space, and I also like being on my own.
I bet you're very good at maths.
Yes, I'm going to be taking my A-level maths exam next month, and I'm going to get an A star.
Really, A-levels?
Yes, I'm the first person at my school to take A-levels because everyone else at my school is stupid. But I'm not meant to call them that, even though that is what they are.
Wow. I am very impressed.
Do you know Mr. Shears?
No, not really. I mean, I know him well enough to say hello, but I didn't know much about him. He worked at the Westminster Bank in town.
Father said that he was an evil man. Do you know why he said that?
Perhaps we shouldn't be talking about this kind of thing, Christopher,
Why?
because your father is right, and you shouldn't go around asking questions about this.
Why not?
Because obviously, your father's going to find it quite upsetting.
Why would he find it quite upsetting?
I think you know why your father doesn't like Mr. Shears very much.
Did Mr. Shears kill Mother?
Kill her?
Yes! Did he kill Mother?
Oh, no, he didn't kill your mother.
Or did he stress her out so that she had to go into the hospital?
She went to the hospital?
Yes, it wasn't very serious at first, but then she had a heart attack,
Oh my goodness.
and then she died.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, Christopher, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize.
Why did you say, I think you know why your father doesn't like Mr. Shears very much?
Christopher, this is not the place to be talking about this kind of thing. Perhaps we should take a walk. Now, what I'm going to say to you, you must promise not to tell your father.
Why not?
Just trust me, Christopher.
I promise.
Your mother, before she died, was very good friends with Mr. Shears.
I know.
No, Christopher, I don't think that you do. They were very, very good friends.
Do you mean that they were having sex?
Yes, Christopher, that's what I mean.
So, is that why Mr. Shears divorced Mrs. Shears? Because he was doing sex with another person even though he was still married to Mrs. Shears?
Yes, Christopher, I suppose so.
I think I should go now.
Christopher, are you okay?
I can't be on my own with strangers.
I'm not a stranger, Christopher. I'm your friend.
No.
Have you told your father about this?
No.
Are you going to tell your father about this?
No.
Did it make you sad to find this out?
Find what out?
Did it make you sad to find out that your mother and Mr. Shears had an affair?
No.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes. I always tell the truth. It did make me sad to find out that Mother was having an affair because Mother is dead, so I would be feeling sad about something that isn't real and doesn't exist, and that would just be stupid.
What was your mother like? Do you remember much about her?
I remember the 20th of July, 2008. I was 9 years old. It was a Sunday. We were on holiday at Cornwall. We were in a beach at a place called Polperro. Mother was wearing a pair of denim shorts and a striped blue swimming costume. And she was smoking menthol cigarettes, which were mint flavored. But she wasn't swimming. She was sunbathing on a towel with blue and purple stripes. And she was reading a book by Georgette Heyer called The Masqueraders. And when she finished sunbathing, she got out of the towel and she went into the water and she said,
Bloody Nora, it's cold.
Bloody Nora, it's cold. And she said that I should come swim too, but I don't like swimming because I don't like taking my clothes off. So she said that I should just roll my trousers up a little bit and wade into the water a ways, so I did. And then she said,
Christopher, look, it's lovely.
and she jumped backwards and disappeared under the surface of the water, and I screamed because I thought a shark had eaten her. But then she stood up out of the water and came over to where I was standing, and she spread out her hand in a fan, and she said,
Come on, Christopher. Touch my hand. Come on now. Stop screaming. It's okay, Christopher. It's okay. There aren't any sharks in Cornwall.
We were inside the park. Mrs. Alexander stopped walking and said, I'm going to say something to you, and you must promise not to tell your father. Before your mother died, she and Mr. Shears were very good friends.
and other times she used to say,
If I hadn't married your father, I think I'd be living in a little farmhouse in the south of France with someone called Jean. And he'd be a local handyman. You know, painting, building fences, decorating for people. And we'd have a French bulldog and a veranda with figs growing over the side. And there would be a field of sunflowers at the bottom of the garden and a little town on the hill in the distance. And we'd sit outside in the evening and drink red wine and smoke French cigarettes and we'd watch the sun go down.
What is this?
it's a book I've been writing.
It's true? Talking to Miss Alexander?
Yes.
What did I tell you, Christopher?
Not to mention Mr. Shears' name in the house again. And not to go asking Mrs. Shears or anyone who killed that bloody dog. And not to go snooping in anyone's gardens. And to stop playing this ridiculous bloody detective game. But I haven't been doing any of this. I just went to Mrs. Shears to chat. Not to ask about Mr. Shears doing any detective work.
Don't give me that, Bullocks. You knew exactly what you were doing. I read this stupid book, remember? What else did I tell you, Christopher?
I don't know.
Come on, memory man. Not to go sticking your nose into other people's business. And what do? You go sticking your nose into other people's business. You go digging up the past and sharing it with every Tom, Dick, Harry that you meet, Christopher. What am I going to do, Christopher? What am I going to do with you?
I didn't do any detective work. It was Mrs. Shears who I was chatting about. I wasn't chatting.
What am I going to do with you, Christopher? What the hell am I going to do with you? Oh, I need a drink. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, Christopher. I'm sorry, okay? I care about you. I don't want to see you getting hurt. I don't want to see you get into trouble.
Where's my book?
Christopher, do you understand that I love you?
Is it at the dustbin in the front of the house?
The next day, when I got home from school, Father was still at work, so I went outside and looked inside the dustbin, but the book wasn't there. I wondered if Father had put it into his van and driven to the dump and put it into one of the big bins there. But I didn't want that to be true, because then I would never see it again. One other possibility was that Father hid my book somewhere in the house, so I decided to do some detecting and see if I could find it. I just started by detecting in the kitchen, then I detected in the laundry room, then I detected in the dining room, then I detected in the living room, or found the missing wheel from my Airfix Messerschmitt BF-109 G6 model under the sofa. Then I went upstairs, but I didn't do any detecting in my own room, because I reasoned that Father wouldn't hide something from me in my own room, unless he was being very clever, and doing what is called a double bluff, like in a real murder mystery novel. So I decided to look in my own room, only if I couldn't find the book anywhere else. I detected in the bathroom. The only place to look was in the medicine cabinet, and there was nothing there. Because the only room left to detect in was Father's bedroom. I started by looking under the bed. There were 5 shoes, and the color of Fuss of hair in it, and a monkey wrench, and a chocolate chip cookie, and a magazine called Men Only, and a pair of underpants from TJ Maxx with a little bit of pee left in them, and a Scooby-Doo tie, and a wooden spoon, but not my book. Then I looked in the drawers on either side of the dressing table. These only contained aspirin and nail clippers, and batteries and dental floss, and tissues, and a spare false tooth, and a tampon, but my book wasn't there either. Then I looked in his wardrobe. In the bottom of the wardrobe was a large plastic toolbox, which is full of tools for DIY, which means doing it yourself. But I could see these without opening the box because it was made of transparent gray plastic. Then I saw that there was another box underneath the toolbox. The other box was an old cardboard box that is called a shirt box, because people used to buy shirts in them. And when I opened the shirt box, I saw my book was inside it. Then I heard Father's van pulling up outside the house. I knew they had something fast and be clever. I heard Father shutting the door of the van, and that was when I saw the envelope. It was an envelope addressed to me, and it was lying under my book in the shirt box with some other envelopes. I picked it up. It had never been opened. It said,
Christopher Boone, 36 Randolph Street, Swindon, Wiltshire.
Then I noticed that there were lots of envelopes, and they were all addressed to me. And this was interesting and confusing. And then I noticed how the words Christopher and Swindon were written. They were written like this.
Christopher Swindon.
I only know of 3 people who did little circles instead of dots over the letter I. And one of them was Siobhan, and one of them was Mr. Loxley, who used to teach at the school, and one of them was Mother.
Christopher,
Hello.
what have you been up to, young man?
Today I worked on life skills with Siobhan. We worked on counting money and public transport. And for lunch today, I had 3 apples and a bowl of tomato soup. And in the afternoon, I practiced some maths and then went on a walk to the park with Mrs. Green to collect leaves for making collages.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm gonna have to put up those shelves in the living room I was telling you about, so if you wanna watch television, you can take that downstairs.
Okay, I'll go be on my own in my room.
Good man.
So I went into my room, and when I was in the room, I shut the door and took out the envelope. I opened the envelope. Inside, there was a letter. And this is what was written in the letter. 451C, Chapter Road, London, NW2 5NG, 0208 887 8907. Dear Christopher, I was looking through some old photos last night, which made me sad. Then I found a photo of you playing with the train set we got you a couple of Christmases ago, which made me happy because it was one of the really good times we had together. Do you remember how you played with it all day and you refused to go to bed at night because you were still playing with it? And we told you about train timetables, and you made a train timetable and you made the train run on time. And there was a little wooden station too. And we told you how people who wanted to go on the train went to the station, bought a ticket, and then got on the train. I like remembering that a lot. You still haven't written to me yet, so I understand that you're probably still angry with me. But I still love you, Christopher, and I hope you can forgive me. I think about you all the time. Lots of love, Mom. I was really confused. Mother had never written me a letter before, and Mother had never lived in London. I looked at the front of the envelope and saw there was a postmark, and there was a date on the postmark. The 16th of October, 2013, which meant that the letter was posted 18 months after Mother had died. When I started writing the book, there was only one mystery to solve. Now there were 2. I decided that I would not think about it anymore that night because I didn't have enough information and could easily leap to the wrong conclusions.
You're soaking.
Yes,
Give me your cup. I'll hang out. How was school?
it was good, thank you. Today, in the changing room, Joseph was taking off his pants, and then he went to the toilet all over the floor of the changing room and started to try and eat it, but Mr. Davis was there and stopped him.
Good old Mr. Davis, huh?
Joseph eats everything. He once ate the little blue block of disinfectant in the public bathrooms, and once he ate a 50-pound note from his mother's wallet, and he eats string and plastic and paper and tissues and forks and knives, and then sometimes he bangs his chin against the floor and he screams a lot.
Yeah, I know how he feels. Christopher, got to go out. Lady has called. Cell has flooded.
Is it an emergency?
Yes.
It is raining very heavily.
Yes, it is.
I like looking at the rain.
Christopher, if I go out, will you be okay?
Yes, I will be, because it is raining and everyone is staying indoors.
Good lad.
This rain, this water, reminds me about how all the water in the world is connected.
Does it?
This rain, this water has evaporated from somewhere like Baffin Bay or the Gulf of Mexico, and now is falling right in front of our house.
I have my mobile with me,
Yes,
so you call me if you need anything.
yes,
Stay out of trouble, yeah?
yeah.
So I went into his bedroom and opened up the wardrobe and lifted the toolbox off the top of the shirt box and opened the shirt box. I counted out the letters. There were 43 of them, and they were all addressed to me in the same handwriting. I took one and opened it. Inside was this letter.
451C, Chapter Road, London, NW2 5NG, 0208 887 8907. Dear Christopher, I said that I wanted to explain to you why I went away when I had time to do it properly. Now, I have lots of time. So I'm sitting on the sofa here with the radio on, and I'm going to try and explain. I was not a very good mother, Christopher. Maybe if things had been different, maybe if you'd been different, I might have been better at it, but that's not the way things went. I'm not like your father. Your father's a much more patient person. He just gets on with things, and if things upset him, he doesn't let it show. But that's not the way I am, and there's nothing I can do to change it. Do you remember once when we went into town to go shopping together because we had to get a Christmas present for Grandma? And you were frightened because of all the people in the shop. So you crouched down on the ground and you put your hands over your ears and you started rocking back and forth. And I got cross because I don't like shopping at Christmas either. And I tried to pick you up and I tried to move you, but you wouldn't let me touch you. And then you screamed and you knocked everything off the shelf. And everyone was staring and everyone was looking. And all I wanted to do was take you out of the shop, but you wouldn't let me go near you. And I remember that night. I just cried, and cried. But your father was really nice about it at first, and he made you supper and he put you to bed, and he said these things happen and that it would be okay, but I said I couldn't take it anymore. And eventually he got really cross, and he told me I was being stupid and that I should get over myself, so I hit him. Which was wrong. But I was so upset. We had a lot of arguments like that, and after a while we just decided to stop talking to each other altogether because we knew it would always end up in a fight. And I was so lonely.
And that was when I started spending lots of time with Roger.
And that was when I started spending lots of time with Roger. And I know you might not understand any of this now, but I wanted to try and explain so that you knew.
We had a lot in common, and that was when we realized that we were in love with one another.
I said I couldn't leave you, and he was really sad about that, but he understood that you were so important to me.
And he started to shout, and I got cross, and I threw the food across the room.
You grabbed the chopping board, and you threw it at my foot, and it hit my toes, and I broke my foot.
And afterwards at home, your father and I had a huge argument.
And I couldn't walk properly for a month, do you remember? And your father had to look after you.
And I remember looking at the two of you, and seeing you together, and thinking how you were really different with him. Much calmer.
And I was so sad because it was like you didn't even need me at all.
And I think then I realized you and your father are probably better off if I wasn't living in the house.
And Roger asked me if I wanted to come live with him.
And it broke my heart. But eventually I decided it would be better for all of us if I went.
And so I said yes.
And I meant to say goodbye.
But when I rang your father, he said I couldn't. He was so angry, Christopher. He said I couldn't.
He said I couldn't talk to you. And I didn't know what to do. He said I was being selfish. That I was never set foot inside the house again.
And so I haven't.
I wonder if you can understand any of this.
I thought what I was doing was the best thing for all of us. I hope it is.
Christopher, I never meant to hurt you.
I used to have dreams when everything would get better. Do you remember you used to say you wanted to be an astronaut? Well, I had dreams where you were an astronaut, and you were on television, and I thought, that's my son. I wonder what it is that you want to be now. Are you still doing maths? I hope you are. Lots of love, Mom.
Christopher. Letters. Christopher. Oh, jeez. Christopher, look. Listen to me, okay? I'm sorry. I know. Look, okay, I told a story. I was in too deep. I couldn't get out of it, all right, Christopher? I'm sorry. Just please. Come on, Christopher. All right. Okay, look. We're gonna get you into your bedroom. We're gonna have to touch you. It's gonna be all right, okay? Come on, Christopher. All right. Okay. It's gonna be okay, Christopher. Okay, look. Maybe I shouldn't say this. But if you don't tell the truth now, later on it hurts even more. So, I killed Wilmington, Christopher. Just let me explain. When your mom left, Eileen, Mrs. Shears, she was very good to me. You know how she was always around here, poking in, seeing if we were okay? And I thought we were friends. All wrong. We always had these arguments, Christopher. We always did. And I'm not going to repeat the things she said to me because they weren't nice. Oh, they weren't nice at all. And you know how she was with that stupid dog. Guess she cared more for that dog than for other actual human beings. Yeah, maybe it is easier caring for a dog than another human being. You know how old Butter was? Nice as pie one moment, roll over, tickle its tummy. The next minute, he's sinking his teeth into your leg. Anyway, we were in the garden one time. We had this nasty little blowout, worse than the rest. And she kicked me right out. I opened the door, guess who's waiting for me? That freaking dog! Yeah, maybe I couldn't get a little kick. But again, Christopher, you know what I'm trying to say here? When the redness comes down, you and I, we're not much different, you and I. And I really hope you get my message. I really hope you understand what I'm trying to say here, Christopher. Do you understand? Come on! Please. Shit. Christopher, can we forget about this and talk about it in the morning? I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get some sleep, and we'll figure it all out. All right, Christopher? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, 2048, 4096, 4096, 4096.
Father had murdered Wellington. That meant he could murder me. I had to get out of the house, and I made the decision. I did this by thinking of all the things I could do and deciding whether they were the right decision or not.
Stay home.
I decided I couldn't stay home anymore.
Christopher, please.
I can't live with you anymore because it's too dangerous. And I can't live with you because you are at school and you can't take care of me after that.
I could try and...
No, because you're a teacher,
Yes.
not a friend or a member of my family.
You could come up with your Uncle Terry.
You live in Sunderland. I don't even know how to get to Sunderland.
Oh, come on, Christopher. Get the train. Get the train from Swindon, buddy.
No, because you stroke my hair and you smoke cigarettes. You're not a friend either.
I think I'm a friend.
No, because you're a stranger and I can't use your bathroom or stay overnight at your house because of it.
I'm not a stranger, Christopher.
Yes, you are.
No!
451C, Chapter of London, NW2, 5NG. 451C, Chapter of London, NW2, 5NG. 451C, Chapter of London, NW2, 5NG. 451C, Chapter Road,
London. NW2, 5, and G.